46 prominent Nigerians demand resignation of service chiefs of Nigeria. 46 prominent Nigerians, including senior lawyers, clerics, businessmen, members drawn from the academia, and various others professionals, Thursday demanded an end to the prevailing insecurity in the country, starting with the resignation of all service chiefs. Drawn from all parts of the country, the eminent Nigerians urged the federal government to draw a red line from the recent killings of farmers in Zambari and other killings in Borno State and insecurity, and secure the country accordingly. In a statement signed on behalf of the 46 by Dr. Olisa Agbakoba, senior advocate of Nigeria, and Professor Jibrin Ibrahim, they called on President Muhammadu Buhari as the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces to take charge and halt the unbridled violence in several parts of the country. The prominent Nigerians who made the call were Abubakar Mahmood, senior advocate of Nigeria, Abubakar Sokoto Muhammad, Adeyemi Kandide Johnson, senior advocate of Nigeria, Bishop Matthew Hassan Kuka, Mr. Salisu Nuhu Muhammad, Dayo Holaide, Danlami Modu, Dr. Chris Kwaja, Dr. Akim Baba Ahmed, Dr. Dikpo Fashino, Dr. Peter Ozo Eson, Dr. Udo Jude, Dr. Innocent Chukuma, Dr. Kole Shetima, Dr. Usman Bugaje Ene Obi, and Father George Esoni. Also listed were Funke Adekoya, senior advocate of Nigeria, Idayat Azan, Honorable Riman Shawulu, Malam Yusufu Ali, Malam Kabiru Yusuf, Malam Amza Ibrahim, Malam YZ Yaho, Mr. Ledum Miti, Mr. Chino Obiagu, Mr. Femi Falano, Mr. John Oda, Miss Ngozi Igwere, Miss Amina Salisu, Professor Aula Yadudu, Professor Atairu Jega, Professor Adele Jinadu, and Professor Gindi Dara. Others are also Professor Joy Ezeole, Professor Mohammed Tabiu, senior advocate of Nigeria, Professor Pat Utomi, Professor Rufai Akali, Professor Ucha Kachu Auze, and Professor Koinsola Ajayi, senior advocate of Nigeria also. What we see, like others, is incompetence in governance, demonstrated by a lack of ideas on how to tackle insecurity, a poor understanding of the situation, and a clear failure in the pursuit of government engagement to address this problem. The Zambamari incident is a grave indictment of the government. At the minimum, what we should have seen is the honorable exit of the persons responsible for defense and security of our country. In spite of numerous calls on the president to sack his service chiefs, the president has persisted in his policy of guaranteeing them longevity in their position. Wow. His messages to Nigerians appears to be that he is not ready to sanction his security chiefs for failure. The president must therefore take responsibility for the failure as the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. Having carefully observed and followed this unfolding event, the Zabamari gruesome killings must be a red line for the country. The time for action is now, they demanded. They stated that as responsible and patriotic Nigerians, they had watched with serious concern the unfolding crisis threatening to engulf the national entity and the nation at large, adding that as non-partisan individuals who believe in the union of Nigerians, the senseless killings must stop. They reiterated their belief in the freedom of all Nigerians to exercise the rights guaranteed by the Constitution, including the right to life, dignity, personal liberty, freedom of speech, and right to freedom of association. According to the eminent Nigerians, this encompasses the right to participate in peaceful protest and in procession without harassment or intimidation from any person or authority. Beyond these fundamental rights is the high constitutional duty and responsibility of all organs of government in Nigeria to act for the primary purpose of government, being the security of welfare and of the people, as set out in section 14(2)(b) of the Constitution. The prerequisite for exercising the rights of citizens rests fully on the existence of the security, lives, and property of all Nigerians. Despite the exacerbation of prevailing pains of anguish and anger precipitated by COVID-19 and attendant stagflation, The unfortunate manner in which the groundswell united EndSARS protest was ended with its illegitimate use of force by government, some delusioned as well as criminal people, has increased tension, fear, dismay, disillusion, and despair for most Nigerians, they noted. The senior citizens maintained that the situation was further aggravated by the unlawful detention and blocking of banks' accounts of innocent protesters. The unseasoned attempted to delegitimize EndSARS, presenting it as a move to initiate regime change, and inconsistent, high-handed treatment of the people by the federal government. They stated that in the effort to subdue freedom of Nigerians, the top agents of state had been insistent on not allowing anyone protest, warning they will be treated as acts of treason rather than address the substantive issues that led to the protest. The group insisted that this was brought to a head by the most barbaric slaughter of innocent Nigerians at Zabamari, Borno State. Nigerians now live in a state of anomie. Well, outside our unsuccessful 11-year-old war against Boko Haram across the country, especially in the north, life has become extremely tenuous. People are killed daily, women are raped regularly, kidnapping is rife, and many farmers cannot go to their farms. We are concerned that over the past 5 years, in particular, public safety and security have been in steady decline throughout the country, they lamented. In consonance with the widely accepted notion of devolution, they urged the National Assembly to enact laws to facilitate state governments taking more responsibility for their security as they face increased insecurity. The security chiefs in the country have collectively failed to provide security for Nigerians, and there must be consequences for this failure, and in any case their tenure has expired. Civil societies, groups, and communities must come out and clearly show their legitimate concern at morning insecurity and make it clear that they are unwilling to continue to accept the current collapse of public safety. State governments and community leaders should quickly put in place legitimate mechanisms to better protection of their people against mass violence, banditry, kidnapping, and other crimes, they maintain. Accordingly, they called on the president and the presidency to demonstrate real leadership in the crisis Nigeria faces as a nation, with the president showing empathy and compassion, using power of his voice to calm nerves. It also urged all who speak for government to show sensibility to the feelings of the people and not denigrate as criminals objects critics of existential problems that this country faces. The federal government should unfreeze all accounts and free all persons detained on account of organizing the EndSARS protest, charging the court anyone it finds to have a case to answer for any crime. They must unfreeze all their accounts. The federal government should stop all acts evidencing dissonance in government, labeling innocent and legitimate activity as criminal, ridiculing government by mispresenting facts, and labeling the reportage of facts as fake news, they insisted. Now, the 46 members that their names were mentioned earlier want Buhari, the president, and the presidency to sack all the old chief or the service chiefs that are older than their age and older than their service. This is so very interesting. I would like you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to share this news and press the like button so that others can be aware and so that others can benefit from this information. And pertaining the EndSARS, they want the account that were freezed to be unfreezed so that people can have right to protest, because there is no way in the constitution that says protest is a crime. Protest is not a crime. Everybody have their right to freedom, right to live, and right to protest. Thank you for listening. You are listening to Independent TV 7.